Hello everyone and welcome to another game I played on PTCGO. For this match I'm going to be trying out a new deck and you guys will be able to see the new layout for the website, which I very much dislike, especially on Mac. And it moves a lot slower, as you can see, not even revealing what my opponent's starting card is right off the bat. But it looks like it's Mewtwo, and I start off with a Darkrai. So I'm actually playing a Klinklang Cobalion with Aromatisse and Darkrai here for support. I'm see that my opponent puts a muscle band on Mewtwo. He's going to Ultra Ball. He's actually favored to win, so I'm a little bit concerned here. And he goes for a Xerneas and then plays a Bicycle, so likely another fairy powered deck. And we see a Spritzee hit the bench, so he'll be using a similar strategy to me, just using fairy transfer to move energy around. We see a Skyla for a Professor's Letter, which will probably go here for 2 fairy energy. And that's exactly what we see. One goes on Mewtwo, and he ends his turn. So I actually play Special Energy, so Rainbow and Prism, to take advantage of Fairy Transfer, and along with some basic Metal and Fairy Energy. So here I'm going to Ultra Ball, I think, getting rid of Escape Rope and Rare Candy to get a Cobalion in play. It's really a tough call what to go for here, but I think Cobalion will be a decent attacker here since he does resist Psychic, and I can attach that Special Energy, Escape Rope, force my opponent to send out something else. Looks like he sends out Xerneas, and since the Fairy types are, I think at this point, universally weak to Metal Pokemon, I can hit him for 60, so Righteous Edge for 60, and that's a good start for me. So going into my opponent's turn, he may have wanted to send out Xerneas to accelerate, and it looks like he's going to attach an energy. Then play a Level Ball here. We see a Zorua hit the bench, so it's another card that works well in his type of deck. He choruses, and we see a Spritzee hit the field, so now he can move energy around, along with a town map. So I see a Fairy Garden, which is useful because it'll provide his fairy Pokemon with fairy energy attached free retreat. That's sort of why I played Darkrai, but I guess Fairy Garden might be a good sub for that. He attaches to Mewtwo here, and it looks like he's going to end his turn after using his first attack, which allows him to attach 2 energy to 2 Pokemon. I'm going to N and just play a Tool Scrapper, getting rid of the Muscle Band, and just Righteous Edge here, doing 60 more, leaving him 10 short the knockout. My opponent is going to play an Ultra Ball, discarding a Juniper in the process, so that's kind of a painful discard. And we see that he gets something. Looks like a Zoroark, so now he can attack with that. We need Skyla for a Fairy Garden, so now all his Pokemon with Fairy Energy will have free retreat, and since he can move it around, that means essentially everything on his side of the field will have free retreat. He sends up Zoroark, and this is where the pain starts coming. He can use Foul Play to copy one of my attacks and hit me with it, and he copies my first one, so Righteous Edge, which sends my Prism energy into the discard pile, but I managed to top deck an Aromatisse of my own. So here I'm actually just going to use a Max Potion to heal off my Cobalion, attach a regular Metal energy here. I'm going to Skyla here for, I was hoping a Heavy Ball, but it looks like I don't have any left, so I'll have to settle for an Ultra Ball, just so I can hopefully be able to use it next turn. Although I could go for a Supporter here, but it looks like I do go for that Ultra Ball, since I do have Professor Sycamore in hand, which is just a reprint of Juniper essentially. And I hit my opponent for 30. He starts moving energy around onto his bench Xerneas, so he may want to attack with that. He can use his second attack, which can hit for 100, but it discards 1 energy. My opponent's going to N, and if you notice, this video has been sped up and chopped up because it was originally about 40 minutes long. He plays a EXP share on Aromatisse, which is quite a useful tech here, and he hits me for 100. So I managed to finally get a Klink in play, and I'm going to discard a Spritzee and an N in order to Ultra Ball, Here getting another Cobalion, since again the resistance to psychic is a good one. I will attach to it, not the active, and I'm here just going to play Professor Sycamore. I don't get anything I can use immediately, but here I'm going to hit him for weakness, and he's able to survive the turn. He's going to transfer energies onto Xerneas, and I pretty much am conceding that Cobalion will be a sacrifice. My opponent plays an N here, and he actually gets a Tauros. Or sorry, a Bouffalant. I get those guys confused sometimes. And he's going to transfer some fairy energy onto it, and he'll be able to hit me for 120 and the knockout. So that's not something I was expecting, but I'm going to send up Cobalion nonetheless. And my opponent here is going to take his 2 prizes. Looks like one of them will be, actually I didn't see what he got there, but one of them was an Ultra Ball. So going into my turn, I'm going to attach a Prism energy onto my Cobalion, play a Dowsing Machine just to get a Colress so I can draw 8, and here I get a rare candy Klinklang. So now Plasma Klang is in effect, which means I can stop any damage from EX Pokemon onto my Metal Pokemon. I'm going to escape rope here. My opponent sends up Mewtwo, so I'm going to send Darkrai into the active spot, transfer a Prism energy onto it, and retreat back into Cobalion. So this way I can use Righteous Edge to discard that DCE off of Mewtwo, and hopefully slow my opponent down a bit. He's just going to retreat into Bouffalant, attach an energy onto Mewtwo, and he can just Gold Breaker here for 120. So he's really pushing me into a corner right now. But I'm going to be able to attach another Prism energy, so the key is getting all these energies on board and then manipulating them. And I'll just end here, so I can still draw 6 since I'm doing so poorly. And I'm not sure what to do here. It looks like I just hit him, and my opponent sends up Bouffalant, plays an N, and I guess my Cobalion will go down as well. He's transferring energy away from his active Bouffalant in favor of a DCE, since he wants to keep those fairy energies on board. And my second Cobalion goes down. I only played 2 in this deck, so that's quite disappointing. But I do play other metal attackers. And I put a Klink on the bench. I'm going to Super Rod those Cobalions back into my deck, along with a metal energy, since I do think I will need them. And here I'm going to N. My opponent has already taken 4 prizes, so I'm ending him down to 2. And I managed to get another energy here, so I can actually Night Spear here, hitting the active for 70 due to Boofer. And I can take a knockout on that benched Xerneas that I've already heavily damaged earlier, and take my first prize, and what do we know? It's Skarmory Ex, which is a useful card here too, since its first attack gets rid of all tools attached to the active on your opponent's side. My opponent retreats into Mewtwo, hits me for 100. He could have transferred more energy, but he actually would have been short of the knockout, so it's kind of wise that he didn't choose to do that. I'm going to play Sycamore here, retreat into Cobalion, Fairy transfer onto Cobalion, so I can attack with it, since it does have the psychic resistance as well. Hit him for 100, and hope that he doesn't run into more energy. But it looks like he retreats into Bouffalant and hits me with Gold Breaker for 120. I get a Rainbow Energy, put it onto here Darkrai. I'm not sure why. I probably should have put it on Cobalion, since I'm just going to Fairy transfer onto Darkrai, Max Potion Cobalion, so I can transfer all that energy back onto Cobalion, and it'll allow me to hit my opponent here. So here I'm doing the Fairy transfer. Still not intuitive even with this new setup that they have, and a lot of the stuff is just slower in general, which I'm not too happy about. But I'll Steel Bullet here for 100 and the knockout. sending some crucial energy to my opponent's discard, but that EXP share did save that fairy. And I get an Ultra Ball off of my prize. My opponent sends up Mewtwo, but since Plasma Clang is active, he can't actually attack with it, so he retreats into Xerneas. It's going to transfer energy onto it. And he also transfers any energy onto Zoroark. He hits me for 100, but he discards a fairy energy in the process. I'm forced to retreat, if not I will lose. So I have to send up Skarmory, play a Colress here. I did transfer energy onto Skarmory. Now I will use his second attack, which hits him for weakness and the knockout, since I'm able to do 160. And I take another prize. So now I'm close to tying it up. My opponent sends up Mewtwo. He's going to Skyla here for a Colress. So it looks like the momentum is slowly shifting. But here my opponent can switch into Xerneas, transfer more energy onto it, and hit me for 100. Again, forcing me to retreat into something different because I can't leave my active up there because he'll be able to just take the return knockout. And here I'm going to play a Heavy Ball just to see what's in my deck. I only have 2 cards, Serena and a Rare Candy. And I will retreat into Klinklang and attack with it since it doesn't have damage unconventionally. And here I make the really dumb move of transferring the Prism energies. I play the Serena here, thinking that I can attack with Klinklang with those prisms, but they only work on basic Pokemon. So I actually have to transfer the rainbow energies off of my other Pokemon and leave a Klinklang up there with a lot of energy. So not a really smart play, and I'm still getting used to playing this deck since it's not all that intuitive, at least not for me. I will get the knockout anyway and take another prize. My opponent sends up Mewtwo, and here I was hoping to hit Mewtwo on the bench with Steel Bullet, I believe. It can do 20 on a coin flip, and my opponent's close to getting knocked out. So he burned a few level balls. He's going to switch into Aromatisse, play a Colress, then a Super Rod, bring back a Boufflant, and 2 fairy energies. We see an EXP share go on Spritzee, and fairy energy on Aromatisse. Ultra Ball gets played here, probably for Boufflant, since it's the one thing that can reliably knock things out on my side of the field, or at least try to. And he puts down a Boufflant and a Xerneas. So Boufflant goes into the active now. He'll be able to hit me for 60, fortunately, which it'll take 3 shots to knock me out. So now I actually here can Rare Candy into another Plasma Clang and just retreat my active, which will prevent him from doing any sort of crazy maneuver and knocking me out. Doesn't look like he plays a catcher or escape rope, so I feel safe doing this. Just sending up Plasma Clang to the active, and I can steal, I believe it's Steel Bullet here, or Heavy Bullet, for 50, and try to hit the bench Mewtwo, but I once again fail. I just need to hit it twice for the win. My opponent now is going to retreat into Zoroark. He can use Foul Play and hit me for 70. And he manages to get a heads on the coin flip and hit my Darkrai. So now I decide to just return the hit with Heavy Bullet. This will give me the knockout. I wasn't able to get the heads, so I didn't hit Mewtwo. But my opponent here sends Boufflant, and I did get an escape rope. So this will allow me to knock, hopefully, something on his side of the field. He says he likes my deck, and I say thanks. It's a Plasma Clang remix, essentially. In doing so, he's also sending up Boufflant. He'll be able to hit me here for 60, but that'll be short of the knockout. And I hope I have game here. So here I can play the escape rope. He sends up Xerneas. I will be able to fairy transfer onto a Plasma Clang and get the knockout here. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this match, and hopefully I'll have more soon if this system doesn't continue to frustrate me.